Hey, power walkers. It's Carmina. How you doing? Happy Friday. It's Carmina with the Fit and Healthy After 40 Club. I am so glad to be here. I am so glad you're here on a fantabulous Friday. I'm just curious, do you have any plans for the weekend, or is it the calm before the storm? My plans this weekend are definitely to put the Christmas tree up. I know Christmas happens the same time every year, but every year I struggle with the same thing. Um, it's my goal to have my Christmas tree up by this weekend. So at least we have a good week before Christmas actually happens. And I would love to see your tree. If your tree is up or already, which I'm sure if you celebrate Christmas, because there's that too. Not everybody celebrates Christmas, but if you do celebrate Christmas, I would love to see your trees, and maybe I can get some inspiration from what you're doing. Because one thing I am not is a domesticated goddess. I am not that at all. I put the same tree with the same Christmas decorations every single year ever since Richard was a baby. Okay, it hasn't changed. But anyway, today is my favorite day, as you know, because it's Fantabulous Friday, which means that we get to pull a random card and get surprised. This is my favorite deck of cards. Yeah, it's by Kris Carr. It's called Crazy Sexy Love Notes. Nothing but good things in this deck of cards. It's not oracles or anything like that. It's simply good old fun, good old inspiration to keep us going, right? And so every Friday I just pull a card from this at random, and then we discover together what it means and how we're going to apply it for the next few days or longer, right? Who doesn't love surprises, especially good surprises, right? Now, before I start rambling, in case we haven't met yet, my name is Carmina Mevs. I'm a clinical weight loss practitioner, and my jam is helping action takers like you create a body they love living in so that they can live a life they truly love. Okay, it's Friday night. We got places to go and people to see. So let's go ahead and pull this card. If you're watching live, tell me when to stop. Um, that way you know that I'm not planning any of this. It's totally random. Tell me when to stop. Let me see if I can see who's on. I don't think I can. No, I can't. So if I don't hear any, and if I don't see anything in the comments, I'm gonna stop on 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, what did we get today? Woo, okay. So today, the message that we got is nourish yourself. Can you see it? It's a little rabbit in a field. He's eating carrots, I would imagine. Okay, so let me read to you what it says in the back. Um, it says, have you been using food to numb rather than nourish? Be honest. If so, break that pattern today. Show yourselves that you care by choosing healthy, wholesome foods made with love. Eat your veggies, make a green juice, and toast to your longevity. Cheers. Okay, so clearly this card is about healthy eating, healthy living, and taking care of ourselves, right? So, you know, it's very common, and especially during the holiday season, we eat our feelings away, right? We use food as a way to self-medicate, to make us feel better. That's why it's called comfort food. And emotional eating is very common. And I say especially during the holidays because the holidays can be a triggering time for a lot of people. And especially with the past couple weeks, the past couple years that we've had, and now with talks about being another resurgence. I'm not gonna talk about bad news on this channel. We have enough CNNs in our lives, right? Constantly negative news. So we're going to try to keep it positive here, right? And so, but the reality is the holidays can be a triggering time for a lot of people, whether you had a tragedy or not occur during this time. I think the fact that everybody is jolly, we feel that we are expected to also be jolly, which is not true, right? We are allowed to feel our feelings, and we don't have to provide an explanation as to why. So I think this card is very appropriate for the season, the week that we're heading into, right? It's going to be a week where foods that we normally don't have available will be made available, and the temptation, if you would, is going to be to numb whatever feelings are coming up with food, right? So this is what I think it means. It's just recognize when you're doing it, right? And then not to make yourself feel bad or be bad because you are indulging in things that are not serving your highest good. Not to make yourself feel bad, but simply to bring it to your awareness, and so that you can be mindful of it. Because I think that's the key. The key is to be mindful of what we're doing. Because if I'm mindful about the fact that I'm eating one too many extra slices of chocolate cake, then I can make a decision. I can make a decision that I'm going to stop because I've had enough. Or, you know what? I know I've had enough, but I still want more. Okay. It's a very different come from than continuing to eat and not even noticing that we're doing it. Like when you're sitting in front of the TV and you start eating from a bag of chips, or, from a carton of ice cream, you're distracted by what you're seeing on the screen and you're not realizing how much you're eating. That is where the danger is. You are less in a danger zone if you are able to recognize this is what's happening, and I'm making a decision. I'm making a decision to do it or not to do it. Either way, it's your decision. It's not a mindless habit or pattern that you feel like you almost have no control over. Do you agree? Or do you disagree? You're totally allowed to disagree with what I'm saying, but I'm just curious, is that resonating with you? Let me know in the comments. Whether you're watching live, you're watching the replay, I love to hear your thoughts on my ramblings, as I call them. Like for me personally, I think it's a reminder, because the thing with me is that um, I I graze all day. I tend to graze all day. It's not so much that I'm not so much a fan of eating per se. So it's not like, oh, I love mashed potatoes, so I'm gonna have like a plate load of mashed potato, or I love rice. No, not really. That's not where I struggle. Where I struggle is I graze all day, especially when I'm working on something. Like as I'm working and I'm thinking, I mindlessly will reach for, a cracker, or, a rice cake, which nowadays are my favorite things to eat, things like that. So for me, that's how I'm receiving this message, to nourish myself purposely and wholesomely, versus grabbing a little bit here and a little bit there, because um the the irony is that we think of, well, if I graze all day, then when it's time to eat, like dinner, I'm not gonna eat that much. That's not true. That's not true at all. Studies have shown that people who graze all day, they end up eating the same quantity, if not more, than they would have if they didn't have anything. So I'm all for, having nourishing yourself throughout the day, but let it be purposeful. Let it be that you're deciding, I'm going to have a snack midday, and I'm going to have a snack mid-afternoon. If that's what you need, you don't have to, right? But don't let it be, well, I'm just going to have this bag of chips on my desk. I'm going to have, M&Ms, candy bowl, right, within my reach. And from, I may or may not have some. You're gonna have some. So that's what we're talking about. At least that's how this is what I'm taking from the message that we got today, is that I'm going to be more mindful about eating purposefully versus grazing all day. Okay. So what about you? Let me know. How is that message personal to you? Like, what are you taking from it? What are you going to apply from it, if anything? Because not all message speak to us. So there might be something that you're like, oh, you know what, doesn't really change much for me, and so totally cool. Totally cool. But I'm curious, and I would love to hear your thoughts. So let me know in the comments whenever you have a chance to get back to me. Okay. All right, so I want to remind you. So today's the last coffee talk of the week. So I want to remind you to submit your miles by Sunday night, because we're gearing for the end of the year award ceremony where we're going to be celebrating the number of miles that you walked this year. So the form, there should be a post in the group where you can click on the link. You will access the form. Use your, you try use the same name. That way, I can group them and do the calculation that way. So yeah, don't forget to do that. But I'll post something to remind you tomorrow. But I just wanted to tell you face to face, so to speak. Okay, I think that's all I've got for today. I don't see any comments, but I'll be looking for your comments after the fact, as I know some of you are watching the replay. And I know this is getting to be a really busy time, as we're approaching the holidays. So I appreciate you spending 15 minutes, no, 12 minutes, I think we've been on. So I appreciate, your attention and your time. I don't take it for granted. And yeah, as always, a pleasure spending time with you. And please feel free to share my stuff with your friends, on the internet, on social media. Your likes and your shares are the currency that make my heart sing. So they let me know that I'm doing something okay. So I appreciate you sending some my way. All right, you guys, that's it for now. I'll talk to you on Monday for our next coffee talk. See, I can speak. I'm so excited it's Friday. All right, take care. Bye for now.